Hey everybody, it's your favorite person with a flaring up skin condition, Andrew Douglas Lane here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, where I review fragrances from the cheap end all the way to the luxurious, niche, and expensive, and give you my unsponsored and honest thoughts and opinions as we talk about the notes, price, all that good stuff that basically every fragrance reviewing YouTuber does, but I just try to tell you as much as I can how I feel about it, understanding that fragrances are subjective. Everyone's going to feel how they do about each thing, and not everything's going to speak to you the way it's going to speak or not speak to me. And with all that babbling said and out of the way, today we're reviewing something that I'm looking forward to reviewing because it's very well known. It piques my curiosity, but it's also something that's a little bit polarizing for me, especially me. Today we're talking about Alexandria 2, hopefully I said it right, by Xerjoff. This fragrance is a beautiful, beautiful bottle. I love all Xerjoff bottles. I've got multiple that I still have to review. One that I've already done, that was Naxos, and I'll probably put that up here somewhere. But in general, this is probably one of my favorite bottles overall. Even though I'm going to go ahead and say up front, my experience so far with this is that it's definitely lower on my list as far as favorite fragrances by Xerjoff. Alexandria 2, we're going to read some stuff on their website. It's 266 pounds. I don't know what that is in US dollars. It's just what the website's showing for a 50 mil, which is what this is. Let's see how much for 100 mil. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know poundage, but it's 545. I already know that in in US dollars, I already know that'd be quite a bit more. But again, I'm not a genius. Probably sound pretty stupid actually. But anyway, inspired by the ancient Arabian art of perfumery, Alexandria 2 is a scent steeped in history and rich culture. Alexandria 2 by Xerjoff opens with fruity hints of apple that meet floral, lavender, and rosewood, and leads to a classically oriental heart of cedarwood, lily of the valley, and Bulgarian rose. Has warming base notes of amber, sandalwood, and precious Laotian oud. So it says, as far as notes go, apple, cinnamon, rosewood, and lavender, cedarwood, lily of the valley, and Bulgarian rose, amber, Laotian ouds, musk, sandalwood, and vanilla. There's a lot going on there. They took everything that they could, threw it into a blender, and said, let's make it look very fancy and do what we can. So, I can actually see for the first time, now that I actually really know all the notes, I've been trying to wear this without any influence. Because sometimes I realize if you read notes ahead of time, it can kind of influence maybe what you're expecting. So I haven't been doing that. Now that I have, I almost have a mildly greater appreciation technically for it. Let's check out the atomizer on this little bad boy. If you can see that, hopefully you can. The lighting in here is not the best. But again, not quite professional just yet. I can actually notice for the first time though, that bit of apple. That little bit of apple going over with the cinnamon. But what I get out of this the most, even right up top, is the musk. The musk, and then honestly, that oudy. If you've smelled a lot of fragrances that are supposed to be oud, whether it's real oud in it or synthetically well done oud or not, there's a earthy feel. Sometimes it's a little bit sweeter, sometimes it's extremely earthy. And this musk, oudy, the bright apple, cinnamon type of thing is supposed to be coming off the top with the jasmine. Those definitely are there, but you're very much getting that musky, some people on Reddit have said that this smells like wet mulch. And I'm not gonna lie to you, depending on the person, and at first, if you are just getting into more niche, more luxurious, far away from designer fragrances, this is probably gonna be hard for you to swallow. I've seen some people say that on first smell, this is the best thing ever. Maybe it is for them. I lean towards, very often, Middle Eastern, spicy, woody, saffron, jasmine, ginger, very smoky, incensey type of fragrances. I'm very crazy about most Amawages. Interlude is one of my favorites, even though I haven't reviewed that yet, so throwing myself under the future bus. But just letting you know, if you're watching this, I love Interlude Man, I love Interlude 53, and Black Iris. They're some of my absolute favorite fragrances ever. That kind of stuff, right? I like that kind of stuff, so I like Middle Eastern things. This is challenging for me. Spray it on the skin. Love the bottle, like I said, one of my favorite bottles, but this is very much something I would not tell people to smell right away after you spray it, which a lot of niche fragrances are kind of like that. But I also would never tell somebody with any of these type of fragrances to spray it on and then, you know, people like to shove their nose in it for some strange reason and giving themselves the Miss Piggy. Don't do that. Smell it at a distance, because that's where you're kind of going to really get things as it's coming off of you. Also, if you can ever help it, try not to smell things on tester strips. I've been trying to say that lately in a lot of my videos, but on a human body is where things are going to warm up and come off of you. And I'm no professional. I've just been enjoying fragrances my whole life, and I smell them often. And I can definitely say on a body where the warmth of your body, your blood, breaks apart the compounds, makes it come off of you better. That's how you're going to actually really know how it changes, transitions, and what it's going to do. Especially, everyone's hormones is different. I've got bad eczema, I've got tattoos. My body reacts to things a lot differently than it does to other people, including me and my coworkers test things on each other a lot. But back to this, sorry for babbling. It is actually a very pretty fragrance. Beautiful is the word that comes to mind. Very distinctly a certain type of Middle Eastern fragrances. And I've been into, so some of my ancestry on my dad's side is Moroccan and Iranian and Iraqi. I'm not saying any of those things in a more traditional way in any way, shape, or form, whatever. But on my dad's side, has quite a bit of decent Middle Eastern ancestry. And when I smell it, this makes me think of a particular Lebanese store I went into once, and also a Moroccan store who they were like they were basically in containers putting spices in the back, and they also sold flowers. It's very strange. It probably doesn't help you imagine what I'm saying, what this smells like, but as we went into there so I could buy some spices, this had a smell. This reminds me a little bit of that store, especially walking in after a rainy day. So they've captured very much wet, musky, florally type of, I just do not get a lot of that apple that it says is literally one of the top notes even when you first spray it. It's not there too much, but it's there a little bit. But I will say, you have to spend some time with this. Some people love it straight away, but I've shown this to a couple people. Some of them absolutely hate it. Some have grown to love it. But you do need to spend time with this fragrance because it is very, very niche and specific. This is not something, in my personal experience, that every single type of person is going to like. This is more of a you like it for yourself, and there will be people who enjoy it. But this is not just going to be, Alexandria 2 is definitely compared to Naxos or a handful of other Xerjoff fragrances. This is definitely Herba Pura. That's something I'm going to be reviewing soon. That's, to me, more mass appealing, like beautiful, changes well. A lot of people can accept it, but this is very specific, especially because of the floral musky notes. This is not going to be something for everybody, but with all that said, I do enjoy it. I don't see myself wearing this very often. I may even at some point gift this away, but I'm going to give it some more tries, see how I feel about it over time. But as a fragrance itself, creativity-wise, I would say I'd rate this a 10 because they really did something with this. Xerjoff's an amazing house in general. It's one of my favorite houses because I love a lot of the things that they've done. But this one in particular, no matter what other people are saying out there, I've seen videos of people hyping this up and saying, you got to try it, you got to get it. I don't want to ever be like that. I want to tell you guys my personal honest thoughts and opinions of everything that I review. And I'm telling you, I like a wide range of things. This is something that's very specific and you need to give it a shot. Get if you can, off FragranceNet, Max Aroma. Get a sample if you can. They don't have these very often, a sample, but if you come across one, I very much recommend doing that before you spring for an actual full bottle. If I look, I believe on FragranceNet, you can get this, sorry, I'm gonna look at it real quick. On FragranceNet, you can get this bottle, the 1.7 for $224. So again, pretty expensive for what it is. Is it last? Projection? Longevity? This is a monster. That is very much true. A lot of Xerjoff fragrances are. I will tell you 100%. Alexandria 2, on the skin, radiates. This will last you forever. I sprayed it on the very first time. I just said, you know what, screw it, straight on the skin, straight on a shirt. And it went for roughly like 12 or so hours, just still getting some type of projection and sillage. But again, I wasn't very fond of it at the time. And I will just say again, you need to try things like this the best, if you can do that, before you actually go full throttle with it, or at least don't get a huge bottle at first. But it's not a bad smell. It is a beautiful fragrance for what it is. Very creative, but it is very niche and not for everybody. So if you want longevity, projection, it's got that. 10 out of 10. If you want creativity, it's got that. But if you're looking for something that you can just adapt to right away, this will challenge you 100%. So price-wise, pretty expensive, even for a discounter. But at the end of the day, it is beautiful. So I would say overall, with the price included and everything, and then trying to take into account, like, is it something that just anybody can just spring for? I give it, in that sense, like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. But putting that aside, because I cannot just recommend this to anyone, nor do I ever tell people to blow and buy fragrances, because you don't want to waste your money. I'm not rich. You might not be. If you are, happy for you. God bless you. But this is a very challenging fragrance. Beautiful, unique, but challenging. And I can't just tell anyone to go out and buy this. If you ever can, like I said, give it a shot, but do not just spend your money on things like this if you can help it. Try to get control over ourselves. So of all the Xerjoffs, this would not be at the top of my list, but I do think that if you are going to collect Xerjoffs, eventually you should add this to that list. But I think get yourself a little more trained on niche fragrances, a little more to understand what to expect before you just spring for something like this, because it's risky. So is it risky? Yes. Is it nice? Very much so, but it's not for everyone. So I can't just recommend going out and getting this. If you can, try it. If you can't, maybe move on to something else. But it is a beautiful fragrance. So overall, I do like it, but that's just the best I can tell you about this. I don't like recommending things that are not safe for just anyone to maybe take a gamble on for the price, because it's very expensive. So this is Alexandria 2 by Xerjoff. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I thank you for, so far, the almost just now 36,000 subscribers today. Thank you so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. It means the world to me. I'm trying to see how far this thing can go, because if I can get free fragrances to just try out and add to my collection, because I love smelling new things. I absolutely adore putting my nose on new fragrances and new experiences. If I can get to meet other people out there, maybe do collaborations at some point. See other different people's point of views on fragrances, that means the world to me. But even more so, you guys' thoughts and opinions and what you'd like to see me review means the world to me. So please, thank you for watching. Tell me what you think. If you've smelled this, give me your thoughts. If you think it's worth it or not, if you disagree with me, that's fine. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you'd like to see me review. And I'll see you all next time. I love you, and God bless you.